Welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we are diving into something that literally represents a massive foundational leap in artificial intelligence. We're talking about Gemini Spark. Now, if you follow AI even a little bit, you already know it's incredibly smart, but up until now, it's mostly just been a really smart conversation partner. Well, Gemini Spark is different. This is the big shift to what we call agentic AI. So think about this for a second. What if your AI didn't just give you a list of instructions, but actually went out and did the work for you? Because there's a huge, profound difference between getting great advice and actually getting things done, right? And that's exactly the gap Gemini Spark is designed to bridge. It takes AI from being just a passive advisor and turns it into an active participant in your everyday digital life.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First, we'll officially meet your new AI agent. Then, we'll unpack exactly how it browses the web and look at how it runs code and organizes your files. After that, we absolutely need to talk about your data and privacy, plus the safeguards keeping you in control. And finally, we'll bring it all together to look at the ultimate automation.
All right, part 1. Meet your new AI agent from chatting to doing.
There is a really stark contrast to understand here. Standard Gemini? It's fantastic. You ask a question, it gives you a brilliant answer. But Gemini Spark actually executes agentic tasks. Imagine saying, find the cheapest flight to Delhi for next month and suggest a good hotel. Standard AI will just tell you how to find that. But Spark, it literally opens the websites, searches the flights, compares the hotels, and presents the finalized results to you, all tied up with a bow. It takes real action on your behalf.
Moving right along to section 2. How Spark browses the web, the mechanics of automation. So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it's something called a remote browser. Now, don't worry, this isn't some AI ghost suddenly hijacking your personal Chrome window and jerking your mouse around. A remote browser is actually a totally secure environment running way over on Google servers. Spark uses this isolated setup to safely navigate websites for you, grabbing the info you asked for without ever disrupting whatever you're doing on your local screen. Let's look at a highly specific, everyday kind of prompt to see this in action. Say you just type, search for a 20-liter icebox on Amazon. It's a simple chore, sure, but it still usually takes you a few clicks, some scrolling, some reading.
Let's see how this builds behind the scenes. Step 1. Spark's remote browser pops open Amazon. Step 2. It plugs in your search. Step 3. It actively reads through all those results. And step 4. It generates a neat little summary for you. It completely handles the mundane clicking and scrolling and just hands you the final intelligence you ask for.
But here's where it gets really wild. What if you needed to do something on a site where you're actively logged in? This brilliantly illustrates Spark's power, especially for professionals. Spark can securely utilize your cookies. That means if you're, say, a small business owner, you can just tell it, hey, pull my 30-day sales report from my Etsy seller account. Spark navigates that authenticated session inside the remote browser, gets into your dashboard, and grabs the report. It's a massive, massive time saver.
Section 3. Running code and organizing files, beyond just browsing.
Okay, so just as Spark uses a remote browser, it also gets access to a remote computer. This is another secure server environment at Google, but here, Spark can literally write and execute actual code, like Python, to analyze your data and create completely new files. So it basically transitions from being a really fast web researcher to a full-fledged data analyst.
The capabilities are wild. Spark can analyze complex Excel files for you. You can toss it a raw CSV file and tell it to run Python code to turn that data into visual graphs. But my absolute favorite part, and honestly a real game changer if you're a Mac user, is that it can connect directly to your local macOS folders. You could point Spark to your chaotic downloads folder full of random receipts and just say, arrange all these PDFs by date. Spark goes in, automatically renames and organizes those local files. Just incredibly powerful stuff.
Which naturally brings us to section 4. Your data and privacy. What does Spark actually see?
Can Gemini Spark use your sensitive personal data? It's the big question, right? When an AI is suddenly organizing your personal files and browsing your logged-in sessions, it is entirely normal to wonder about the safeguards.
So the short answer here is yes. If a task explicitly requires it, Spark can and will access these sources. To do its job properly, it pulls from your chats, your connected workspace apps, Gmail, Drive, Photos, Calendar, as well as your saved addresses and documents. Think about it. If you ask it to suggest hotel bookings based on your meetings for next week, well, it kind of has to read your calendar and probably your Gmail just to figure out your schedule.
Furthermore, to actually complete these agentic tasks, Spark might need to share some necessary details with third-party websites. If you ask it to find the cheapest printer on the web and ship it to your house, it has to use your saved address. If it's booking that hotel for you, it securely passes your name and check-in dates to that external hotel website. It only shares what is strictly 100% required to execute your specific request, but you definitely want to know how that data is flowing.
So, how do we manage all this? Section 5, staying in control, putting you in the driver's seat. So the crucial point is that human oversight is always just one click away. You have two vital failsafes. First, at any point, you can just hit stop. That immediately halts whatever automated action Spark is currently running. Boom, done. But even cooler is the take control feature. Say Spark is searching Amazon for that icebox, and you realize, oh wait, it opened the wrong product page. You hit take control, and the system literally lets you jump right into that remote browser session and manually steer it yourself.
You also have total overarching control of the whole system. If you toggle Spark off in your settings, it goes in and methodically scrubs its workspace. It deletes the remote browser data, wiping all those cookies and logins. It dumps the remote computer code history. It completely revokes access to your macOS folders. Interestingly, it also pauses any scheduled tasks you might have set up, like, say, a daily weather report. Now, your previous text chats, those stay. But the entire agentic environment gets cleared out. And if you ever turn Spark back on, it just automatically resumes those paused scheduled tasks.
Oh, and it's worth noting this one fundamental rule. For any of this agentic stuff to work, keep activity on absolutely must be enabled in your broader Google account settings. Think of it as the ultimate gateway. If your activity tracking is turned off, these features just simply won't function.
Let's bring it all home. Section 6. The ultimate automation, bringing it all together. Check out this absolute mega prompt. Imagine you tell Spark to build you a full travel itinerary. Step 1, it dives into your Gmail to read your current flight booking details. Step 2, it cross-references your Google Calendar to make sure dates don't overlap with any important meetings. Step 3, it fires up that remote browser to search Google Flights for your connecting options. And Step 4, it drafts a complete, beautifully formatted travel plan directly into a brand new Google Doc. And this brilliantly illustrates the true power of agentic AI. It is multi-step, multi-platform, seamless execution. It's doing the work.
So to quickly summarize everything we've unpacked today, the remote browser and remote computer basically act as Spark's hands, letting it navigate the web and run complex code. Your connected apps and macOS integration, those are its eyes, letting it pull in the necessary context from your digital life. And the stop, control, and on-off switches represent your direct oversight, making sure this incredibly powerful tool always stays safely within the boundaries you set.
We have definitely covered a ton of ground today, from the technical nuts and bolts of remote browsers all the way to those rigorous privacy controls. This truly is a massive leap forward in how we are going to interact with our technology. So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Which of your daily digital chores are you going to delegate to Gemini Spark first? Seriously, start thinking about those repetitive tasks, the weekly reports, those notoriously messy file folders, because your new digital agent is ready for work. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.